I'm Dr. Ray Middleton. I help people by delivering great training. Here's an example of an episode from one of my training courses. The pre-treatment approach has 5 principles of care. The first principle of care is relationship formation. This is about the practical knowledge and skills we can apply to help build relationships of trust. The trusting relationship can then form the foundation for further effective work. A central challenge is to engage, establish, and then maintain trusting relationships. Without relationships, we can achieve very little in life. However, building relationships of trust with people with complex trauma histories is difficult because they have had their trust broken a lot. Often other people have hurt them through relationships in the past, so they may well be wary, understandably, of relationships. In addition, the person we want to engage with and build a relationship of trust with lives in a different world from the world we live in. They have a different personal story or self-narrative. Our journeys through life have been different to some degree. This means there may be many cultural divides to cross before we can fully, genuinely engage them, because we've had different histories, different cultures, maybe different strengths and challenges. We may have different values and we may have experienced different kinds of adversity and trauma than the person we're trying to build a relationship and communicate with and reach out to. Or we may have reacted differently to similar challenges. So helpfully, Levy breaks down the relationship building and engagement process into different stages. A phased or stages approach helps us to think about the different challenges we may face at different times. The relationship often starts with the stage Jay calls pre-engagement. This is even before we formally meet someone physically for the first time. Often we've received a referral from another agency if we're working in a service, and we start to form an attitude or opinion and a picture of them in our own mind and our heart from the information that we're given before we meet them. We might have some risk information, and then we might start to form a view of them before we meet them. If we get a telephone referral from another worker, we may pick up the worker's frustrations and other emotions from the tone of voice in which they are telling us information. Their emotional attitude of the worker who's maybe making a telephone referral to us, towards the person they're referring, may inform our thoughts and feelings as we're anticipating working with this person. Normally, we think about referral information in light of the eligibility criteria for our own service. Understandably, we start to wonder if the person that we may be reading a referral for or listening to the referral for, we start to think, are they likely to be accepted into our service or not? And this is a normal and understandable process that's going on inside ourselves. It's helpful at this pre-engagement stage to think about what other services and resources in the community might be helpful to this person in the wider system out there. Brainstorming possible helpful community resources can help reduce our anxieties. Perhaps we're anxious that this person might be too challenging to work with. That's quite common. We can draw on our local knowledge to start to imagine a potential social network of support around them that might be able to meet different needs that they have. It helps us to have a flexible thought process, to be able to see that there might be multiple potential pathways that they could travel down if we were to engage successfully with this person and if they agreed to work with us on some goals. So even in this pre-engagement stage, we can think quite flexibly about other resources out there in the community that might be part of their pathway. When the first face-to-face meeting occurs, the challenge is to overcome mistrust and to build some degree of trust in the relationship on both sides. The initial goal is to help the person feel safe with being with us and relaxed enough to start to communicate. We can start our initial approach to engage someone by observing their behaviour. This might help us to get a sense of how they interact with other people. We might see what their personal space is like. This might help us to engage with them in a safe way by observing their facial expressions and body language. We might gain a sense of their emotional state, whether they are fearful or angry or tired or low in mood. So all these observational kind of information that's coming in visually can be helpful. We may need to meet someone several times to gradually introduce ourselves in order to desensitize them to our presence. We may appear threatening to them, even though we don't intend to be, because of their trauma history. I hope you found that helpful. For more information about the training I can offer, email me at ray.middleton@ladderforlife.com or sign up for one of my free trauma-informed courses by clicking the link in the comments. Like and subscribe for more helpful videos, or post a question in the comments and I'll reply.